G'day, guys. We have building construction going on all around us. And, what more perfect environment to have when we're going to talk about change? So today, our topic is Change One, Change All. And that's a podcast I do with Troy. We haven't done one for a few weeks. So let's talk about it. Let's begin with the absolutely bottom line of this whole work that we're doing. Champions think different. Now, you can reflect on this until the cows come home, but when you meet people who have championed or reached the top in any specific field, they have one thing in common, and they think different to the mass. Now, the thing they have in common is not what they think, it's how they think. And so you can have a huge diversity of humanity at the top of any field. You can have a massive diversity of what people think at the top of any field. But you can't and you won't find a big diversity in how people think at the top of their field, whether it's in tennis or swimming or triathlon or business or book writing or consulting or coaching or whatever it is. The group of people at the top of that field will think, the process of their thinking will become similar. What they think can be still very diverse. And that's the beauty of the top end of any field. And I assume you're reading this or listening to this because you want to be a champion in your field. You don't want to be paid less than everybody else. You want to be paid more. You want to have more time to enjoy life. You want to do the best you can, and you want to be celebrating the efforts that you've put in throughout the course of your life in terms of the impact it's had on the world. So champions think different. And here's the bottom line of that I would like to share. You've witnessed the pyramid we've worked on before. You've acknowledged that there's a hierarchy of thought, and we know the bottom four rungs are for the masses. The very bottom, self and other. The next level up, good and evil. The next level up, pleasure and pain. And the next level up, right and wrong. They're the motives of the lower mass. So if we're talking about mass consciousness, what we're basically saying here is champions think different because they don't think like the masses. The masses value opinions. The masses polarize themselves into groups of mindset. The masses are driven primarily by emotional reaction. The masses are therefore being led by the nose, by the media, by marketing, by friends, by collectives. So when we get to the top echelon of the world in any field at all, people have realized they're not competing with self versus other. They're not competing with the paradigm of good versus evil. They're not competing with pleasure and pain. They're not trying to compete with right and wrong. What they're basically saying, I'm going to leave others to play that game. I have a higher purpose. I have a higher reason to compete. I am competing with myself. I'm competing with my own mission and my own values in the world. I am out here doing my thing, and I know myself well, and the better I know myself, the better I can own and trust and value myself. So step one, champions, one of which is what you are, think different. The primary difference is they don't think in the level of mass consciousness. In other words, they're not driven primarily by emotion. They're driven by something very different up the top. The next one. Change one, change all. Champions think different, but champions are also strong. So there is no better way to describe this than a car and a wagon being towed. This wagon is your memory, is the history of your life. This question mark is the future. Which one for you is stronger? The baggage you're carrying, trying to comply with family expectation, trying to validate your opinions of people, trying to validate your emotional history, or is the vision, the purpose, the ambition, the drive you have to be a world champion in your field, is that stronger? And if it's stronger, when you come to those everyday moments of choice as to what you're going to do, are you going to react emotionally and sabotage the future, or are you not going to react and stick to your knitting, stick to the gun, stick to the steps? That's going to be the big question, and this is the primary thing when we talk about mental strength. The next one, champions are hungry. And absolutely every champion I've met in any field of life, a champion is hungry, not just for their purpose. They're hungry for life. So they want a better relationship, they want better wealth, they want better health, they want more in all 7 areas of life. Now, when we first start off being hungry as a champion, we want to throw all our positives into one aspect of life. We want, like our career, we become workaholics or sportaholics or alcoholics. We want to throw everything into one aspect and ignore the other aspects where the negative side of our life goes. But this bipolar thinking gets us all us champion people, into trouble because we throw everything into our work and our relationship suffers. Or we throw everything in our relationship trying to apologize for our work, and our work suffers. Now, this bipolar paradigm is very what do you call it? It's a hunger for life, and it's a hunger for all 7 areas of life. But what it transforms itself into is complete disaster, where people like James Packer say, my business life is spectacular, my private life is an absolute disaster. That's where somebody has thrown all their energy into something, and whatever's left over, or all the crap, gets left behind. And that's an appetite for life. So you got to celebrate the fact that can happen. But what you realize in the end is that we can have the hunger in all 7 areas of life as long as we look for balance, not in life, because that's stupid. We look for balance in each area of life. And that's the big win that Innerwealth teaches you from using the laws of nature, that you look for balance in each area of life rather than look for balance across the spectrum of life. And taking that into the champion's mindset creates this powerful set of confidence that you're not building something and sabotaging. It takes away guilt, and it absolutely removes doubt, which is the greatest saboteur of people's life. Let's keep moving on. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the champion wants to manifest an outcome. So that outcome becomes the phobia, the paranoia, the schizophrenia. That becomes the complete delusion of the champion. I want to manifest, boom. And I guess the first thing is to say, what is it, boom, we want to manifest? And therefore be able to construct a life around that manifestation process. Before we do, we need to set the record straight. And that's what I'm about to do here. Firstly, we are very, very powerful people. So what we judge in people, we breed, attract, or become. Why? Because nature's going to teach us to love what we breed, attract, or become. She's going to teach us to love those 3 things. You're going to love your kids, you breed your children, you're going to attract a partner or a boss, or you're going to become. You're going to have to learn to love life. And that's life in itself. The question is, what are the things that block it? Well, they're the judgments you have, which is the caboose we talked about in this previous picture. You're going to have to love this stuff in order to create this stuff. Otherwise, you'll breed, attract, or become, and it'll be called Groundhog Day. So we are very, very powerful people, and we will breed, attract, or become what we judge in our parents or in the world or whatever. And so, step one in manifestation is to get over the idea that we can carry forward judgments of the past in any form other than in love, goodness, balance. Second one, what you appreciate grows. What you don't appreciate depreciates. So the secret to manifestation is to appreciate what you've got. And we use the law, nothing's ever missing, just changes in form. If you don't appreciate it the way that you've got it, you won't get it the way that you want it. Thankful for life builds the energy for life. And so if you're a manifester and you want to be at the top end of the world and manifest your destiny, being thankful for what you've got is key number one. This is a very, very important thing. And all champions struggle with it. I promise you this, because the obsession with the future makes us angry with the present. So, appreciate what you've got. You don't have to hold on to what you appreciate. It's just be thankful for the form that it's in so that you can create the form that you want it in. The next one. This is hard because as soon as I say this, no victims, people throw out the most extreme examples of human suffering, such as children in Africa or sex trade in Asia, or the Holocaust, and or the World Trade Center. And I'm not going to pretend on a silly little video like this to go into such manifest examples of victimhood and the world at large, except to say that over thousands of years, people look back on an incident where thousands and thousands of people died, or millions, as it is in the case of the Holocaust, and realize that there was, in the long term, very long term, a huge outcome that changed the world, and the suffering of millions may have turned into the benefit of billions. So sometimes our suffering creates a long-term benefit for a lot more people than just ourselves. However, at a very personal level, we cannot treat ourselves as a victim if we want to take into our hands the power of manifestation. If we're saying, I am accountable, I'm not going to wait for hope or lotto or good luck or someone, fairy angel, or the angels of glory shining down on me and handing me a bucket of gold. If I am going to work with the universe, with the world, to create my manifestation, to be a champion, I must say I am never a victim. I must say that what happens to me can only be a speed bump, can only be a learning experience, can only be something that I will be forever thankful for guiding me along the path that I'm on, even if that guidance is not to the destination I thought I was heading towards. Last but not least, we must think differently than the masses. The masses will be in the moment saying, whatever I have right now, I need to fix. Therefore, what I need to fix will teach me something that I can evolve from. This is the backward looking, it's like driving, looking up in the rear vision mirror of the car. I wish I had known that yesterday before this happened. But everything that happens to us, we can prepare for. The future is really obvious. We don't have to guess what's going to happen. There are going to be challenges, going to be more stress. Relationships are going to be more challenged. The longer you're with somebody, the bigger the problems are going to be. The more children you have, the larger the diversity of things you have to look after. And this has all been done before. Everybody has walked down your path. You're walking in the footsteps in the snow of somebody else. Yes, your situation is unique, but the fact is, you're going to have to get bigger and better at handling the things that are going on now in the future. So we know that planning ahead is the key. Planning ahead, predicting the future, being not waiting till you hit the concrete wall to say, man, that hurt. It's saying to somebody, somewhere, a coach, a leader, somebody, a mentor, saying, what should I prepare for? and how. This is really, really important in the leader's mindset. So manifestation, the big M, is going to be the topic of the next weeks. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please give it a thumbs up or share it around. What we're trying to do here is find a collective of people who want to be lighthouses in this world, who want to form beacons so that the mass consciousness has something to look up to. This is Chris. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.